Welcome back, Sebastian here. So today I'm going to be doing my preview for the 2025 Bahrain Grand Prix. So first, taking a look at our track, this Bahrain International Circuit. So 15 corners in total. This is a track that's very, very different from the three previous tracks that we've raced at: Australia, Shanghai, and of course Suzuka last time out. Three DRS zones, one down the main straight, one going between turns 3 and 4, and then another between turns 10 and 11. In terms of overtaking, best spots to make an overtake here are quite a few, to be honest. Turn 1's really good spot, slow corner, turn 4 as well, and depending on how bad the dirty air is this weekend, we may see cases where if a driver's been overtaken into turn 1, they may be able to repass going into turn 4. Turn 11 is also sometimes a good move, and from time to time you'll also see drivers basically take a really bold move down the inside of turn 8, for example. This is a rear limited track, so more slow corners than fast corners, preserving those rear tires, making sure you can get good exits out of those slow corners. So for example, turn 2, turn 3, turn 4, the final corner, as well as turn 12 are going to be really, really important in order to preserve the tires throughout a race stint. On top of that, this is a track that's very, the circuit's very abrasive. It's never been resurfaced in the 20-something years since it first came into the calendar. And basically, as a result, the track is becoming more and more abrasive every year. And it's probably one of the toughest, or close with Silverstone, probably one of the toughest tracks in terms of basically just tire wear. So that's going to be a really big task for the rookie drivers, for example, who are not going to have as much experience with the F1 Pirelli tires. I think really the last couple races, China, Suzuka, really kind of masked really low tire wear at those tracks, so that really masked it. Australia, wet race as well, so you don't really see tire management being as much of an issue there. So I think this is going to be a pretty big test for the rookies this weekend. Now, some other track stats. The track is 5.412 kilometers, and we're expected to have 57 laps on Sunday. The race lap record from 2005, I know every single year it's still the same. It surprises me every year. 131.447, and again, highly doubt that's going to be beaten this year. I think unless they eventually, resurface the track, I think the track's just going to keep getting a little bit slower and slower because of the abrasiveness. So I think that race lap record's going to probably be not going to be broken this year. Now the average speed of that lap, 213 kilometers an hour, which ranks 17th out of the 24 tracks on this year's calendar. In terms of downforce rating from 0 to 1, 0.16. So it is pretty low downforce. A lot of long straights there. Not a ton of high-speed corners, so you don't really need to have the downforce to go through those corners. But again, lots of long straights, so having low drag is going to be really important around this track. And it's a track where you're full throttle for 72% of the lap. And like I said before, this is a track where the corner tendency is towards slow corners. Now, in terms of pole conversion rate, 50%, so it's a little bit lower. And this is a track where you can definitely overtake, and getting pole position is definitely not a guarantee of winning that race. In terms of rookie out-qualifying percentage, it is 29.4%, which ranks 17th out of the 24 tracks. So despite the fact that this is a track that's not too technical, not too difficult, doesn't have the reputation of a driver's track, the drivers also race here in Formula 2 and Formula 3. I think they started actually last year with Formula 3, but definitely they've been doing in Formula 2 GP2 for a long time. So this is a track that rookies will see on their way up to Formula 1. But despite that, still pretty low in terms of out-qualifying percentage, which is pretty interesting. Safety car profitability also pretty low, 45%. And our first race here was 2004. So this is, I believe, the 21st ever race around basically the 21st iteration of the Bahrain Grand Prix. Tires for this weekend, 3 hardest in the Pirelli range, soft C3, medium C2, and the hard C1. So the same tires that we saw at Suzuka. Obviously, degradation very low at Suzuka with these same 3 tires, but because of the repaving of Sector 1 of Suzuka, which is the hardest, I would say, on the tires. Didn't get a whole lot of tire degradation, but we should have a decent amount of tire degradation here, which means that we should be able to have some overtaking and some differences in terms of strategy. Now, for your weekend schedule, Friday, FP1, 2:30 local time, Formula 2 qualifying 4:55 in the late afternoon, I should say, and then FP2, 6 p.m. local time, and the weather for that FP2 session is 27 degrees and clear because, of course, it's at night. Saturday, FP3, 3:30 p.m. local time, and then the Formula 2 sprint race 5:15 in the evening, and then qualifying 7 p.m. local time, and just like Friday, clear and 27 degrees. Now for Sunday, Formula 2 sprint feature race is 2:25 in the afternoon, and then the Grand Prix is at 6 p.m. And 29 degrees and clear. So a little bit hotter, so pretty high pretty high air temperatures, which should lead to somewhat high track temperatures as well, but again, much lower than it would be if the track race was held during the day. So again, not a ton of rain. It should be very, very dry. So no concerns of rains like we had Suzuka or we had at the first race in Australia. Now, taking a look at last year's race, not the most exciting race last year. It was a 1-2 for Red Bull with Verstappen leading Perez and Carlos Sainz rounding out the podium. Taking a look at, just the Wikipedia page for this race, the only real interesting thing I saw was that this was Max Verstappen's 5th career Grand Slam. So highly doubt he's going to get a Grand Slam this weekend, but again, thought it was interesting and felt I should mention it. Again, I think the other interesting stat from that race was that it was the first season opening race in F1 history where all 20 drivers, or basically all cars, finished the race. And again, just kind of hints at how strong the reliability is with these cars. We've only had one mechanical retirement in 3 races. That was Alonso in China, and so I think as well that really just highlights how reliable these cars are. If that pace continues for the whole season, we would only have 8 retirements over the whole season. That would be less than 1 for every other car. So pretty incredible. Now, taking a look at best and worst qualifiers at this track historically, your top 3. So number 1, Esteban Ocon plus 14%, so 14% above his career average, and his median qualifying delta is 0.147 in his favor. Being one of the best qualifiers at this track compared to his average did not help him at all in Suzuka last weekend. So again, we'll see if it helps him this time. Number 2, Alex Albon plus 13%, median qualifying gap of 0.243 seconds in his favor. And then number 3 is George Russell plus 9%, 0.135 seconds in his favor. Now taking a look at worst qualifiers, interestingly enough, Lando Norris is the worst with a minus 21%, so 21% below his average. But that being said, he still outqualified his teammates here on average by about 1/100th of a second. Number 2, Carlos Sainz, negative 16%, with a median qualifying gap of 0.115 seconds against him. And then number 3 is Lance Stroll with a negative 11%, with a median qualifying gap of 0.362 seconds against him. Now, in terms of qualifying predictions for this weekend, the 10 drivers who are predicted to outqualify their teammates are Piastri, Hamilton, Verstappen, Russell, Alonso, Gasly, Ocon, Lawson, Albon, and Hulkenberg. So it'll be interesting to see if how many differences we have from that. Just off the top of my head, I would say good chance Hajar outqualifies Lawson just because he's been on a very, very good streak the last couple of races. Outside of that, I think Leclerc will probably outqualify Hamilton. If you compare to past videos, you can see the numbers definitely going down more in Leclerc's favor as we get more data. So wouldn't be surprised about that. And then I think last one, I would say. Again, I think Norris, has a decent chance of out-qualifying Piastri, even if the model says otherwise. Again, the margin between the two of them have been so close. These first 3 races, wouldn't be surprised if it went the other way. Now, in terms of predictions for this race, I'm going to be really boring again, and I'm going to predict a McLaren 1-2. They clearly have the fastest car. This is a track where you can overtake. So even if one or both of them have bad qualifying sessions, they have very, very strong tire life, tire preservation. So even if they don't have the best qualifying session, I still think they should be able to basically move the way up the field. So I'm predicting a 1-2. Predicting Norris in front of Piastri, just because I do think that generally his race pace is still a tad better than Piastri's. And I also think that something that has been mentioned is that Norris is better at, for some reason, is more comfortable at rear limited circuits like Bahrain, whereas Piastri is more comfortable at front limited circuits like the ones we just had. So if that holds true, I would expect Piastri to be the better of the two McLaren drivers. Now, rounding out the podium, I'd say, really Verstappen, Russell, and the two Ferraris are probably your best bets, but I'm going to go with Verstappen. I know it's very boring, but I do think it seems like the Red Bull is quite fast in slow speed corners. And again, this is a track where there's quite a few of those. And just because Verstappen's so consistent, so talented, I wouldn't be entirely surprised if even if the car was not great, even if it was the third best car, I wouldn't be surprised if Verstappen was able to eke out a podium and round out the top three. But I think, Ferrari, Leclerc, Hamilton, and Russell, I think will also be in the fight. And those are also probably I'd say other drivers who would also be in the hunt to realistically get a podium this week. And no offense to Antonelli or to Tsunoda. So there you go. There is my preview for the 2025 Bahrain Grand Prix. Looking forward to the race quite a bit. Should have a decent amount of racing, decent overtaking, something that we definitely did not have last weekend. So again, looking forward to this Grand Prix quite a bit. So thank you so much for watching, and goodbye.